Today, uh, I am going to talk about download a file, upload a file to a server. Sometime, whenever you are going to work on a file, that means customer can upload some files on the server, okay? Or a server generated some files and you want to get a client to get as a response. So for that, generally in almost every application, if that's required kind of provisions where customer can upload or download file. Okay, file can be anything. Okay, so here the simplified way to address such operation download and upload facility maybe depend upon the your requirement. But for the simplicity purpose, you can say we have simply developed some API. API can be upload, can be download, or maybe sometime you want to, hey, the particular files maybe exist in the server and you want to get some modification, some changes in a particular file, maybe. So such operations can be. So let us talk how we can develop API. So here we are going to develop API. That API can support, hey, customer, you can upload the uh, any files or you can download any files. And if needed, you can also go and modify some content that's file already exists on the server. Okay, so let's the objectives are that we are going to build these three API. One API could be post. That means they allow customer can upload the any files to the server and file maybe your local repository or similar. Okay. And the second API, let's we can download the file and even you can modify the file. These three API we are going to the build, and later parts these API whenever you build API can be consumed or test by maybe your call command or maybe your postman, or you can develop any UI application. An UI application from the customer where can browse the file and select the file and upload the file or download the file. So that's depend upon the use case. For the here simplicity purpose, I'll demonstrate how you can download or upload file using the both curl command as well as the postman command. These are the nowadays very simplified way to perform testing of your. Let's we develop API, but somehow until we are not performing testing, we cannot see hey, our API is work fine. In the our programming words, whatever the you things talking, that must be, you can say, it's running until you are not going to the demo. You cannot going to the write the code and run the code. So for that purpose, we are going to see how we are going to write the API and those API code how we can uh, uh, test via the curl or the postman, or if you want any other tools for the testing API, lots of tools available, you can use any one of them. So let's talk how we are going to the build. So for building any APIs nowadays, maybe you can couple of approach to build API. Nowadays in the Java, you can say a couple of approach available. Maybe you can go with a Spring Boot. You can use the Spring Boot to develop the API, or you can use the Quarkus is also one of the frameworks where you can build the API, or couple of more options you have. Okay, so in depend upon the technology, if you are using Golang or Python, generally different programming language provide the different kind of frameworks through which nowadays we can develop the API. So we are not going to touch more basic about how to develop API. we already have a cover the couple of sessions on how to build the API. So here our objective, we only focus how a customer can upload or download the files. So here, for the simplicity, the Java developer or applications developer are using the building or testing any API from the REST API using Spring Boot, but you can choose any other libraries. So simplicity side, let us we are going to the generate one Spring Boot applications, and that Spring Boot applications required a kind of one dependency where the we can expose a particular REST API, or and this API are consumed by the client, by the postman, by the curl, right? And our server side receive the file from the users and is stored in the respective folder. But here, for simplicity, I'll put it some hard coded folder, but you can decide on the server side which location you want to store. Maybe you can give the permission to the user can decide where my folder will be stored. Okay. But generally, let server side only server know where the file is stored. And later part, maybe customer ask, hey, I'm going to download the A file or V file. Server can get those files from a particular location and response back. So here we are going to, let's develop one simple Spring Boot application. And that's a good part to, as a Java community, a Java developer, to building Spring Boot application, very simplified version. Just you can here you can go to the Spring initializer of the project, and here the good option, very simple way complete Java project you can create it. Whatever the language you want, whatever the build package you want, what the versions you want, everything. Let's go with the default Java. Uh, 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 you can say the build package, and simply say, let us example file upload and download, upload and download app. Okay, you can give anything, and simply whatever the generally Spring Boot go with nowadays, jar, you can select jar, and version, whatever version you have, 17, 21, 20, 25, you can choose, and just add the dependency, because we are going to develop REST API. So Spring Baby, we have developed the RESTful application using the Spring Embassy and Apache Tomcat, a default embedded container. Multiple good option Spring Boot. They have by default provided the one Tomcat server to you. That was the embedded, so you don't need to consider first build the jar and then manually going to download the Tomcat server. Okay, so let's use the one dependency, and just you can generate the project. The one project they are open here, and just you can unzip them, and now this is the project builder. Now you have whatever the preferences, prefer choice for the ID, which ID you are going to develop the application. So let us choose maybe IntelliJ, Eclipse, STS, VS Code, anything. So you can, I am going to either VS Code. So this is a fresh VS Code, and Visual Studio Code. You can say here. I just we can go and open a particular folder. So I already we are downloaded. This is the folder. So here, maybe whatever the editor you want, you can just choose. So open this application. Okay, so here let us so by default, when this file is the created. Okay, so now this is a simple, let's move. Okay, this is a simple file created, and so for the uploading, let us talk about here. So this is the required packages. Maybe any ID by default you can choose. They are support, but let us just understand what they are going to do. So we are going to the build one RESTful API. That you can say, hey, this is my REST controller. So now we are going to the question, and here a couple of maybe endpoint we are going to the build. Okay. So for scenario, let's say we are going to the upload API. So one API you are going to the build upload API. So what upload API does say? Upload API say, hey, we are simply saying I'm going to create one API, post API, and this API will take one file as a input parameter. So in generally, Spring application provide one specific uh, uh, you can say object known as a multi-part file if this is the file, and once you have going to choose for simplicity purpose, I'll just decided, hey, whatever our user home, we are going to upload this file. So I read this file and check the particular file maybe exist or directory exist or not, and then simply say whatever the file. In a Java, I have a concept of input stream. Just you can stream the file, and you can just make one path, the particular file where you're going to write the target file. This is our target file. It's where you are going to store, right? So here, and after that, you can simply say, hey, use this while loop and read the input data, and write to the output file. So, so maybe just here. Okay, so in this way, simply simplicity purpose, so here the objective is that here we are passing the file. File would be your this is the file, and in this files we are open the input stream, and one where you're going to write the output stream. So from this input files, we read the file, and just going to, hey, the particular target file. I've decided, hey, this is the my user home is the target folder. If this directory exists, else created, and we are going to write this target file. This right. So just operation reading the input and writing the file, and you can say just respond, hey, file uploaded successfully. Okay. And this is a simple upload, and maybe you have another file load. Once file is your uploaded, you maybe want to download. So here you can say download. So download also very simplified. This is a get mapping, because you are just customer say this is a file name and I want to get the file. So just we know, okay, already we have a store all the file in our user home directory. Just check user home directory, what is the user home directory, and if this directory is found, and simply say, hey, maybe you can not require this. Okay. Simply, okay. Or you can just let for understanding what is the home directory. You can, this is a system property by default gives you, and whatever the here required data you can just uh, store, and just remove out. So these are the actual, these are the actual here. So here let's understand what this post API do. Post API just doing like they are asking, hey, which file you want to download. File name will come, and check if the particular file name exists or not. If this is the file name, if the file name exists, you can say it are not found. If say file maybe not found, else simply we are going to create simply response output, set your content times, and set your file name, which as a download you want, someone click the file should be downloaded, and here the you can say path. Maybe notice here we have just reading the input directory and writing the and your output stream. So same input and output stream, but the sources here this time we are going to write in the your output stream and the response. We can create the response types, and this is this is your post mapping. Just this is a post mapping. Get mapping. Sorry. Okay, this is your get mapping, and maybe a third one more. Maybe you want to need some modification. The three API we are developed. So let us one API maybe develop to sometime you want to make a kind of a replacement means the particular file name the particular or text you want to replace with. So simply mention this is a file name. In this file name, this is my old text. I want to replace with a new text. This is the input we can take, and simply we open the file and read all the line and check the particular replacement folder. Already we have a replacement API. Replace them and return the modified file. Just write to the file and response, hey, file is modified somehow. So these are the you can say the API is a very simplified API, and just simply say maybe here we simply say REST API we already developed, and here everything has been done. We have basically the objective here using the file input stream input and write for any file output stream. Similarly, we are going to write the so input stream and output stream API help us to reading data and writing data. In the both case, download you are uploading on the server. In the sorry, in the case of upload, you are going to uploading on the writing on the server side. In the case of download, you are using the same input stream and output stream, but here we are going to writing the data on the response object so that the customer can download. And I set the header type as the attachment, so this file can be downloaded. So simply to run this code, here is options, just run as a Java code, and this is going to run. So let us check to how to upload. Maybe you can use the Postman here, and you can use the upload and in this Postman there's options. You can just go the body and say form and mention, hey, this is the file I'm going to, and we are just like here we have option. You can select text the file, you can select file, here your file name and mention, hey, I want to select from. So whatever the file you have, anything, so let's say I'm going to the simple 4 JSON and attach them, and I'm going to the upload. So notice this file is uploaded successfully. Can just let us perform. I want to download this file. You want the simple 4 file which I uploaded. So notice this data, the file we uploaded. If you look as per the code, if you look the code mentions said we are uploaded our files whatever the customer uploaded on the user home. So if I go my user home directory and we check, this is the file just uploaded. Okay, and let us check how to get the download. Means free, maybe you can download from the Postman. So here the API would be the download. So let us say we are going to the get download API, and download API take one parameter like file name and which file name in part. If you are first changing some different file name, maybe not exist, you can say, hey, file dot found exception. If you exist, because you know you are uploaded a file 4, and you can again send, And notice this the particular files we are downloaded from the, yeah. Even this API you can run from the browser. So let us because this is a get API, and you can simply get API. Notice the file which is downloaded. So by default, this file load is the downloaded. So why they are allowed to download? Because we are written in the code here. Whatever the response, set the content type as HTML. On the response, we are just read the file. Input stream reading the input file, reading the input file, and output stream you are writing the data in the your output buffer. So let us go here, and let us somehow you want to change some maybe some particular names or words, anything. Then we can use the another API that's we already built. That's API name is the your modify. So let us this is the API your modify API. This is your modify API. This is the modify API, and this API is your host API. Then you can say this is the host API, and here also we have to pass some parameter. Okay, this is the for our API we have to pass. Okay, so let us pass same as a parameter file name. Here you mention. So you required file name is the parameter. Okay. So one is the your file name. File name could be sample o.json. Okay, and your next all here this maybe let us you want to change the James name. See the name James. Okay, first name James, and you want to change. So let us third here new replacement. Sorry, so postman. So here say a replacement value. Let's James James. That's Jim. Let's change the Jim capital letter. Okay, James, and let's send them. So notice the file is uploaded, and let us check history and just uh, get API. Okay. So if you again going to download this API, so notice this is the updated mode. This file is modified by the server. Even you can go on the server side and you can just check you can just set a sample 4. So notice this file is the modified. So sometime this API code base, this API are very can say simplified way to download and upload. And here you will not just simple notice simple Java methods, but here what additional things we are doing, just you are reading input and output stream API. Input for a reading file. In the case of upload, we are reading data from your file request and writing in the our target file in my server path. In the case of download, what we do? Customer say this is a file name. So we know this is a file name customer want. We can take the customer file name and just going to input stream to the file to input stream, and the content where we're going to write them, we are going to write them on the response. So notice here response. So overall the things today what we did, here. So let us, this is the server side, this is the client side. Client have, let's, this is a file and they want to upload here. So what we do in the server side, we have decided, hey, this is the my server full file. So here I am going to use the input from here. We are ready input stream. So input stream and writing the content in this file, writing in the content in the file. And we can say done. In the case of upload, customer say, hey, I need this, this here, the file name, this file name, and server going to the check, hey, this file exists or not. If this file exists, this file exists or now this file exists, then they input it and they write back to the response object. Response object, they are going back to write response object. So using the output stream, we are writing. So here completely we are using the input stream and output stream for reading and writing. So these are the simple Java code for supporting your file read and write operation. And in the case of API, you can just mention the a particular API so that user can interact with the REST Postman API any different way. So these are the, and sometimes these are simply modifications, sometime API. So these are the two API, and this API we can just like test it from the Postman. Even we can test it from the your curl. So even the good options. So let us test API from the curl. So let us, even you can test API from this curl. So this is my curl command here, and just push the get API. And here you are getting the complete. Even from here you can upload, even you can modify it, you can this. So let us say you want to use the modification. So let us James, maybe I want to replace maybe James to Joe, and you can update it again. You can get API. Notice James are updated with the Joe. So these are the API very request and response you can test from the curl command as well. So curl is also very famous in the case of testing purpose. But in the real application, maybe this API are consumed by your UI applications. UI application can consume and provide the very nice user interface for the customer. So in short, you can say these are the very simplified way where you can perform upload or download. In the simple Java simple methods, these methods are just using the input stream and output stream. Input for reading the file and output for the writing the data. Okay, so even you can these code be clearly. We are not simple. Notice simple Java methods, nothing else. Just annotate this is the Postman API so that this API can be consumed and can be deployed on the server and can. So for exposing the API, we use the Spring Boot. Spring Boot provides the very nice and simple way to expose your Java method as a API. The simple Java method, you are using the read and write operations, and we are getting everything here. So we are not for the, there is not any kind of a very complex or very tough things to expose your Java method as a API. Simple use the annotation for the particular frameworks and write simple Java code. Here in the notice the try catch block is simply written the input stream, output stream, writing. Same for your upload, or same for your download. This is nothing extra you have to do. So hope this code, this flow is clear for you. And if you want to get details, so whatever the things I'm exposing, even you can find the Spring Boot uploading file concept. Here, the complete project, complete steps, detail, everything here you can find how to what the Spring Boot application, how to file uploader, what is the controller, the way you can write in the code. Everything you can mention detail here. You can find even here you can mention some UI as well as from UI you can upload them and download them. Everything details are application here available. And sometime you want to know the some specific application you can say detail like a file. Next, so here multi particles, multi, so all the string related configurations, okay, you can find here. Oh yeah, so not these are the multi part. Next size, supported size, file upload. Okay, file. Okay, log file. Okay, so here file. So you can say sometime you want to uh, uh, some customizations like minimum size, maximum size for the file. Okay, max size. So even you can explore more detail here. They are support key. If your file size is larger than you have to enable, hey, this is the larger file size you am going to support, or what are the minimum. If enable lots of details you can find here, okay, about the Spring Boot. Okay, write this like here. Even you can mention here as well as you can find application property. Even you can perform the different locations. So here you can check lots of contents here they are mentioned. Okay. Even this kind of sometime you want to insert tune your file size. So this is the, you can say, file part. You can get the detail about the file part. Okay. So these are the you can maybe strings alert enable. So whether you want to multi-part enable or disable, and what is the file size threshold, what the location, max file size, max request size, resolution readiness. So lots of multi-part related configuration. If you are going to upload a larger or a smaller size, depend upon the by default. Notice this the max file size can be 1 MB. If you are going to the more than 1 MB, we have to again the things that some different approach, but this is a Spring Boot related functionality, but you maybe explore the details. But the initial thoughts is that whatever the file operations you are going to perform, finally on the Java server side you are going to write simple Java code for reading and writing, performing the file operations. Okay, so that is the point which I have for today, and I hope this information give you little bit idea how these file read and write operation happen. And overall, the server side is the client side, and server side. Whatever the file client side have, whatever the file client side have, you can just tell the hey, this is the file. So what the server upload means they are going to store on the server side the same file. And now any number of requests come, hey, I want to download. So this file can be downloaded on the any customer box where they are downloaded, they are downloaded, they are downloaded, they are downloaded. So generally, for this, for writing file here or writing file here using the output stream, and file reading from the customer environment or from here reading, we are using the input stream. So Java have a API like file input stream and file output stream. This help us to read and perform the right operation. Okay. So good option. Maybe you can try to run this code, and then you feel more comfortable to the file operation. And this file operation you can easily expose in API using any API framework like a Spring Boot, Quarkus, and other framework which are available in the different programming languages. That's for the today. Thank you.